Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you are watching us for the first time, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that YouTube will recommend to you our videos. Kindly give this particular video a thumbs up so that it can be recommended to many viewers, and you can also share our videos. To those who support this channel in one way or the other, I want to say thank you very much. It's something that I don't take for granted. The UDA Secretary General, Cleopas Malala, has revealed Ruto's intentions in that coalition, and most of the coalition partners are now sleeping with one eye closed and another one open. Their antennas are very high. They are tuned in because they know that they are dealing with a very crafty leader. William Ruto is a very ruthless and a very crafty politician. In fact, those are not just my words. The Deputy Secretary General of the UN, United Nations, revealed that when she met Ruto, the body language, for just a few minutes that they had a conversation, she came out with one conclusion that she does not trust William Ruto. Those were the secrets in the archives that were leaked out in Washington, D.C. And even if you ask people who have studied William Ruto, they don't trust him, because William Ruto has studied our politics, and he knows very well that Kenyans are easily hoodwinked. Kenyans are very vulnerable. And so William Ruto knows what to speak where, how to speak it. He always has something for the ears. But the good thing is that most people have also studied him, and they know that William Ruto is lying. Now, sometimes back, Cleopas Malala, immediately he was appointed into that very position, he embarked on two things. One, he wanted to recruit more members into the UDA party. And he had vowed and promised the nation that he was going to paint Kisumu yellow, because the agenda of the Kenya Kwanza, or the UDA, was to take Raila Amolo Odinga back to Bondo. And one of the assumptions was that Raila was annihilated after 2022 elections, and that people were tired of him. So he went to paint Kisumu yellow. It was not a walk in the park. He realized that it was a daunting task, but he's still trying his best, because he has now gained reinforcement. People like the former spokesman Owino is there with him. He's got people like Kidero, and they're trying to gain inroads in Nyanza. The other drive that Cleopas Malala embarked on was to ensure that all the affiliate parties within Kenya Kwanza had to fold and form one mega party, because that was Ruto's dream. There are some parties that agreed. People like Trade Minister Moses Kuria agreed to fold this party and join William Ruto, but others remained defiant. And this issue dragged on and on after William Ruto realized that it was going to break the party, or divide it right in the middle. They seemed to have abandoned that quest. But recently, Cleopas Malala was speaking on NTV. He was being interviewed, and he said that that dream has not diminished, and William Ruto still has the plan to ensure that they have one party, that William Ruto harbors that clandestine plan to abandon all the parties so that they can form one party, UDA. Someone was joking around that this government should not be called a Kenya Kwanza government. It's a UDA government, because that has been the dream of William Ruto. Now, it's even also reported that Ruto dream for mega party ahead of 2027 still alive, says Cleopas Malala. And Cleopas Malala revealed there that they are trying to work out a plan so that as they approach 2027, they want to approach it with one party, one candidate, They want to fold all the parties. It is something that was rejected, and it seems they are not giving up. Now, out of the 13 parties, that is according to Cleopas Malala, parties that were approached to fold their parties, 7 accepted the deal, but 6 of them, the owners refused. And it is led, those who declined this offer include Musalia Mudavadi's ANC Amani National Congress, Ford Kenya of Wetangula. We have the PA of the Senate Speaker, and we have that of Ali Roba. Kabogo is not ready to fold his party. Foreign Affairs Minister is not ready to fold his party. So this is something that is going to rock. It is like rocking the boat from within. And Malala is simply revealing to the partners, the coalition partners, that William Ruto is a dictator. Why am I saying that William Ruto is a dictator? You know, the characteristics of a dictator will be seen when he wants everything for himself. In fact, William Ruto, as I told you for those who follow this channel, learned from the late President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. And William Ruto wants everything to go back to the Nyayo era. The difference between William Ruto and the former President Moi is just, are only two. We only have two differences. One is that William Ruto is a little bit more educated than the Professor Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. We have an academic acquisition gap between them. And number two is that William Ruto does not work with a club or a surgeon ile rungu. Those are the only difference. William Ruto amesoma kuliko Moi, na pia William Ruto atembei na rungu. Those are the only difference. But inside William Ruto's software, he is just another Daniel Moi. Because the reason why William Ruto would want to have all the parties fold is because he wants to control all these people. William Ruto is never comfortable with several kingpins being in his party. He wants to ensure that when he goes to Western, he does not pass through Musalia Mudavadi. He wants to go there for himself. He wants to entrench himself as a kingpin in all the regions, the way he did with the Mount Kenya. You see, William Ruto is like a kingpin in Mount Kenya because he painted that region yellow and he kicked out the former President Uhuru Kenyatta with a lot of fallacies and lies that Mount Kenya people relied on. So he wants to do that, the same with Western, in Luo, in the coast and all this. And if you want to know that this is true, William Ruto sponsored a candidate to contest against Moses Wetangula's in the Bungoma senatorial race. People had expected that because Moses Wetangula helped William Ruto to ascend to power, he would be courteous enough and kind enough to allow Moses Wetangula to have his way because that is his home. Since all of them are in one coalition, Moses expected that he would only contest against an Azimio candidature, not contesting against Azimio and at the same time competing against a UDA candidate, a party that they are within the same coalition. And so William Ruto would want to entrench himself. He would want to show these leaders that he is the ultimate leader. You also understand that there is money, the political parties fund, that William Ruto is really targeting. You see, when you have several parties, these several parties could also hinder your chances of being the largest party. Because, for example, if all these parties would fold and form one party, and then he grabs other members from party members from Azimio, then he would form a very big party, and that chunk of fund would go to him. Because he's also targeting 2027 and all this needs money. So he also wants to ensure that these political funds get to him. But William Ruto, at the core of his heart, he wants to take people to the Nyayo era. You know, during the Nyayo era, everything was concentrated with the president at the national level. And if you have listened to William Ruto, their talk is tupange hawa vijana, tupange ajira. Yesterday, Rigathi Gachagua was telling Kamba leaders in one of the funerals that mkuje tupange mambo ya Ukambani, tupange mambo ya maji, mambo ya masomo, elimu. According to them, people must go to State House to beg them. They want to forget the cognizant of the fact that we are in a new dispensation and all Kenyans are taxpayers. We have a devolved system of government. All they need to do is to release funds that are supposed to go to the county levels at an opportune time, early enough, so that development can take place in those regions. The era where people had to go and praise Moi and do this and that and kneel down before they get development is gone. And this is what William Ruto wants. William Ruto wants to ensure that he is the president of Kenya. He is the party leader of all the parties in Kenya. He is the kingpin of all the regions in Kenya. He wants everything to himself. Now, it is very unfortunate that both of them, William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, both worked with Mzee Moi, and they understand Nyayo. So all in their mind is to ensure that we go back to the Nyayo era, because with that, they will control everything. It is about being obsessed with the power. It is about being a dictator, where you have everything. People have to come and beg. People have to come so that you take photos. You control the party. You control the money. You control everything. And this is something that is not going to be accepted by the other party leaders, because once you have been kicked out, once you fold your party, then you lose your power to negotiate. You know, political parties are also used to negotiate for these positions. So if, for example, Musalia Mudavadi will abandon his party, and he says that he is now in the UDA, then how do they now, for example, when they sit on a round table, when they are making pre-election packages that I'll be a chief minister, I'll be this, how does he do this? Because you must show that you have a party and there are people who follow that party. And this is something that William Ruto wants to die naturally. You know, political parties are the measures of democracy. Once you get people back to the new era, you remind people of the dark days. You remember at some point Moi was so much drunk with power that if you are not in KANU, some people are even being forced to join KANU. In fact, if you are not a member of a KANU party, then it is like you are not a member, you are not a resident or a citizen of Kenya. I remember Malala once told the Kisumu residents that if you are a bona fide registered member of UDA, then you will be considered for recruitment in the GSU, in the discipline process, the police, the military, and all that. And that tells you what is in their mind. But they're not going to get it very easy, because people like the chief minister, foreign affairs minister, the speaker of the National Assembly, the speaker of the Senate, all of them have refused because they know that there is a mischief. I don't know whether William Ruto will use some magic to persuade them. And whatever Malala has been given is suicidal. It is a poisoned chalice. I don't know how things are going to transform and unfold, but we wait and see.